Welcome back for part 2 of yet another giant-sized edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can order Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy, pre-order Edge of Eternities, or find a vast number of other great items on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. If you missed part 1 to this week's Market Watch, go back and check it out. The market has been extremely turbulent in the wake of Final Fantasy, which is why we're looking at the top 30 hot and top 15 cold cards this time around. In part 1, we saw the hot cards numbered 30 through 16 and the cold cards numbered 15 through 8. In this part, we'll conclude our journey by counting down the top 15 hot cards and the top 7 cold cards. As always, our lists are based on 2 pieces of criteria: the percentage change in the value of the cards as well as the change in the number of sales from week to week. We'll quickly look at the cold cards and then spend a little more time on the cards moving up in price. Quickly before we get into it though, just one fast thing. I do want to say thank you to one of our silver patrons, and that is Joseph. Joseph, thank you so much for all your support on Patreon. It truly goes a long way. Thank you so much. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin with the top 7 cold cards of the week. Remember, our cards are considered cold not because they're necessarily seeing less play, but because they're moving down in value. In fact, all 7 of the cold cards in this segment are from Final Fantasy products, and most of them are seeing a fair amount of play. However, some of the demand on them has been satisfied due to the huge number of packs that have been cracked over the last couple weeks. Let's jump in, beginning with number 7, Yuna, Hope of Spirit, down $5 to $15, that's a 25% decrease. Summon, Knights of Round, down $6.11 to $23.62, that's a 21% decrease. Number 5, Cloud Midgar Mercenary, down $7.20 to $35.99, that's a 17% decrease. Number 4, Celis Rune Knight. This is the foil copy from the Final Fantasy Revival Trance Commander deck. It's down $7.76 to $24.48, that's a 24% decrease. Number 3, Sphere Grid, down $7.98 to $26.66, that's a 23% decrease. This is from the Final Fantasy Counterblitz Commander deck. Number 2, Buster Sword, down $9 to $15 for a 15% decrease. This is moving down even though it's part of a new Boros version of Modern Hammer Time that's performing well. More on that deck later though. And coming in at number 1, VV Orniteer, down $9.29 to $57.97. That's a 14% decrease. Alright, we're in the home stretch now for our top 15 hottest cards of the week, starting with number 15, Sarcomancy, up $2.36 to $12.90. That's a 22% increase. This reserve list card has been getting more play recently in the pre-modern format. Granted, it doesn't take too much to spike a reserve list card since any movement will catch the attention of speculators. Regardless though, Sarcomancy frequently appears in pre-modern mono-black aggro builds. Number 14, Displacer Kitten from Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, up $2.39 to $17.99. That's a 15% increase. This has been appearing in several Commander decks for quite some time, including Stormforce of Nature and Urza Lord High Artificer, for example. Now it's seeing even more Commander play thanks to Final Fantasy. Some players are grabbing its upgrade the Scions and Spellcraft Commander deck, while others are putting it in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander from there, Y'shtola Knights Blessed. Displacer Kitten also happens to be good in several Commander decks around cards from the main set, including Kefka Court Mage / Kefka Ruler of Ruin, Noctis Prince of Lucis, VV Orniteer, and Emmett Salch Unsundered / Hades Sorcerer of El. Our number 13 card is from the Final Fantasy Scions and Spellcraft Commander deck, Tataru Taru, up $2.70 to $15.98 for a 20% increase. It is a Final Fantasy card moving up in price, which says something considering how much product is in circulation right now. It is already a fairly popular commander, and it's in the 99 of several builds, old and new. The highest played decks running it are around Y'shtola Knights Blessed from its precon, and Mog Moogle Warrior from the Revival Trance deck. Down one spot this week to number 12, Generous Pup, up $3.01 to $18.99. That's a 19% increase. This has been seeing a little commander play in Miss Bumbleflower and Rin and Ciri Inseparable builds, for example. Now, though, this card is on the move because some players are getting it to upgrade the Final Fantasy Counter Blitz commander deck, and others are using it in new builds around the front-facing commander from there, Tidus, Yuna's Guardian. Number 11 is Helvar God of Battle, up $3.16 to $22.70. That's a 16% increase. This has been appearing in several commander decks for quite some time. Sir Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale, and Captain America First Avenger are two examples, but you know where this is going. Final Fantasy has brought more equipment support, so now Helvar is moving up. Many players are grabbing it to upgrade the Limit Break commander deck, while others are adding it to fresh builds around the front-facing commander from there, Cloud X Soldier. Plus, Helvar God of Battle is in the 99 of several decks around cards from the main set, like Cloud Midgar Mercenary, Lightning Army of One, and Adelbert Steiner. Additionally, Helvar God of Battle is in builds around Cloud Planet's Champion from the starter kit, and it's worth noting that Helvar can be found in the 1v1 dual commander builds around Cloud Midgar Mercenary too. Quickly before we get into our top 10, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can order Final Fantasy products, pre-order Edge of Eternities, or find any other number of great items on their website, both Magic-related or otherwise. Remember, if your order's over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. And if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or the comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to the top 10. Up 3 spots this week to number 10, Ophidian Eye from Time Spiral. It's up $3.35 to $17.90. That's a 23% increase. This is the only wide release printing of the card, but there was a reprint in Mystery Booster 2. That one is moving up as well, but there's not enough actual sales to determine by how much. Ophidian Eye currently gets some commander play in builds like Ireson Storm Kellermorph and Niv Mizzet Parun. However, the key driver for this price spike again is Final Fantasy. Players are grabbing this to upgrade the Science and Spellcraft commander deck, and others are putting it in new decks around Y'shtola Knights Blessed from there. Plus, Ophidian Eye is in a lot of regular and 1v1 dual commander deck lists around a card from the main set, Vivi Horneteer. Moving up 18 spots this week to number 9, Jin-Gitaxias. This is up $3.50 to $10.87. That's a 47% increase. This is a fairly popular commander, and it's in the 99 of some builds like Tom Bombadil and Tekuthal Inquiry Dominus, for example. Remember, Final Fantasy gave us a whole series of saga creatures, so those Tom Bombadil deck builds are hot right now. This is also appearing in some decks around Final Fantasy cards, which is another reason Jin-Gitaxias is on the move. It's in commander decks around the Emperor Palamisia / the Lord Master of Hell from the main set, plus some players are grabbing Jin-Gitaxias in order to upgrade the Science and Spellcraft commander deck, while others are putting it in fresh builds around Y'shtola Knights Blessed from there. Moving up 17 spots this week to number 8, Jeweled Amulet, up $3.80 to $13.55. That's a 39% increase. Here's an old one-print wonder that has become hard to find in high grade. Back when Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus were banned in Commander, players were looking for replacement cards and some landed on this. It's been appearing within decks in both 1v1 Duel and regular Commander. In Dual Commander, you've seen it in builds around Flubs the Fool, for example, and in regular Commander, it's in builds around Urzalord High Artificer and Fibblethip Lost on the Range, among others. Now, however, it's also showing up in decks around Final Fantasy cards, which is why it's creeping up again. In Dual Commander, this is in builds around Vivi Orniteer and the Wandering Minstrel, and you see Jeweled Amulet in regular Commander builds around Vivi as well. Coming in at number 7 is Stoneforge Mystic. The World Weight copy up $4.72 to $25.95, that's a 22% increase. The Double Masters copy up $4.91 to $26.89, that's also a 22% increase. First off, this is in Modern Mono White and Jeskai Hammer Time. In part 1 of the video, we mentioned that the modern Jeskai Hammer Time build was getting a push thanks to Rauban, Bull of Alamigo from Final Fantasy. But when it comes to Stoneforge Mystic, there's more to the story. A new Boros Hammer Time build has emerged in the format, and it's doing really well early on. It too runs Rauban, Bull of Alamigo, and it also includes other new cards like Corey Steelcutter from Tarkir Dragonstorm, plus these 3 cards that are also found in the Final Fantasy main set, Cloud Midgar Mercenary, Zack Fair, and Buster Sword. This is the biggest reason Stoneforge Mystic is spiking, but there are other players that want this card right now. In Legacy, Stoneforge continues to be a strong card in Yorion Death and Taxes builds, as well as regular Death and Taxes and Jeskai Stoneblade. It also plays a big role in 1v1 Duel and regular Commander. In Dual Commander, this has been in tons of decks, including Bruised Taro Boorish Herder and Yoshimaru Ever Faithful partner builds, as well as decks around Felia Exuberant Shepherd, for example. Now it's also appearing in the new Cloud Midgar Mercenary builds there too. As for regular Commander, Stoneforge Mystic has been in several decks like Captain America First Avenger and Rafika the Many, for example. Now though, it's getting more play in that format too thanks to Final Fantasy. Sure, it's also in Cloud Midgar Mercenary builds there, but some players are also using Stoneforge Mystic to upgrade the Limit Break Commander deck, while others are putting in new builds around Cloud X Soldier from there. Additionally, Stoneforge Mystic is in decks around Lightning Army of One and Squall Seed Mercenary from the main set, as well as Cloud Planet's Champion from the starter kit. Moving up 10 spots this week to number 6, Nahiri Forged in Fury, up 535 to 1732, that's a 45% increase. As we have been discussing, the equipment support from Final Fantasy has been pushing cards like this one. It was already a solid commander, and it appears in the 99 of Ardent Intrepid Archaeologist and Rograk Son of Rogat partner decks, as well as Captain America First Avenger decks. Now Nahiri is a good upgrade to the Limit Break deck, and I'm seeing it in new builds around Cloud X Soldier and Sephiroth Fallen Hero from there. Players are also putting Nahiri Forged in Fury in commander decks around Cloud Planet's Champion from the starter kit and Lightning Army of One from the main set. Coming in at number 5 is Power Conduit. The Mirrodin copy is up $1.57 to $6.77, that's a 30% increase. The one from the Streets of New Capenna Bedecked Brokers commander deck is up $6.08 to $11.86, that's a 105% increase. This has been seeing a decent amount of commander play in different builds like Tom Bombadil and Mirko Obsessive Theorist. However, now Final Fantasy is bringing us cards with two mechanics that play well with Power Conduit. One such mechanic includes the Saga creatures. That's why Tom Bombadil decks have been revitalized. Secondly, though, there are cards in the set that give finality counters, and removing those with Power Conduit can be good. This is showing up in a variety of builds around new Final Fantasy cards that are trying to get the most out of those two mechanics. Cards like Terra Magical Adept / Esper Terra, Noctis Prince of Lucis, Yuna Hope of Spira, and Garnet Princess of Alexandria. Number 4, Summon Ixion, up $8.39 to $9.98, that's a 528% increase if you're doing the math at home. This is from the Final Fantasy Counter Blitz commander deck, and the fact that this is spiking speaks to the strength of the card. It's seeing play in fresh builds around a couple cards from its precon, Tidus Yuna's Guardian and Yuna Grand Summoner. Summon Ixion is a strong Saga creature, so it is appearing in lots of Tom Bombadil commander decks now too. Plus it's in builds around a few cards from the Final Fantasy main set, including Terra Magical Adept / Esper Terra, Yuna Hope of Spira, and Garnet Princess of Alexandria. Number 3, Codsworth Handy Helper, up $8.69 to $18.04, that's a 93% increase. This is from the Fallout Scrappy Survivors commander deck. It's been in fresh builds around Captain America First Avenger, and the front-facing commander from its precon, Dogmeat Ever Loyal, for example. But by now, you know why it's spiky. The equipment support from Final Fantasy is moving this card. It's appearing in 1v1 dual commander decks and regular commander decks around Cloud Midgar Mercenary, plus Codsworth Handy Helper is found in regular commander decks around Adelbert Steiner and Squall Seed Mercenary from the main set, as well as Cloud Planet's Champion from the starter kit. Of course, Codsworth Handy Helper is also a good upgrade to the Limit Break deck, and solid in fresh builds around Cloud X Soldier from there. Moving up 13 spots this week to number 2, Sigarda's Aid. The Commander Legends Armed for Battle commander deck copy is up $4.48 to $16.44, that's a 37% increase. The one from Eldritch Moon is up $8.95 to $19.95, that's an 81% increase. This is currently used in modern Jeskai and Mono White Hammer Time builds, but one of the main reasons it's spiking now is due to the fact that Sigarda's Aid is a 4 of in that new Boros Hammer Time deck that we talked about earlier. Several new Final Fantasy cards are in that build, and sure, we'll have to see how the meta responds to it in the long term, but for right now it's hot. Sigarda's Aid has also been known to see play in both 1v1 duel and regular commander. In dual commander, it's been in Light Paws Emperor's Voice, and in regular commander, you see it in Light Paws as well as Captain America First Avenger, for example. Again though, Final Fantasy's equipment support is playing a role here too. In both dual and regular Commander, I'm seeing Sigarda's Aid and decks around Cloud Midgar Mercenary. It's also a good upgrade to the Limit Break Commander deck, and it's appearing in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander from there, Cloud X Soldier. Plus, players are using Sigarda's Aid and builds around Lightning Army of One from the main set. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Summon Yojimbo, up 1389 to 1922. That's a 261% increase. This is from the Final Fantasy Counter Blitz Commander deck, and it's another Saga creature spiking aggressively. You see it in fresh builds around Tidus, Yuna's Guardian, and Yuna Grand Summoner from its precon. Plus, Summon Yojimbo is in several other Commander decks, old and new. Some of the more popular ones again include Tom Bombadil, Terra Magical Adept / Esperterra, Yuna Hope of Spira, and Garnet Princess of Alexandria. Like Summon Ixion though, Summon Yojimbo is just a solid Commander card overall. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a Saga, Counter, or Enchantment build. Okay, that's going to do it for part 2. If you did miss part 1, check it out. There's a lot of really good and interesting cards in there to take a look at. Until next time though, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.